Welcome back to ChatGPT. We're continuing on with our listener questions. So let's give you the answers you're looking for and dive straight back in. Okay, moving on. Next question. We'll rattle through some of these. What's a smart weekly training plan for hobbyists? Well, so we've done a podcast about finding time, so we won't spend too much on this question because that'll probably be released before this episode is. But we say that for us to get the improvement and get the output from training jiu-jitsu, we'd say 2 to 3 times, more likely 3 times to 4 times is probably the best plan for hobbyists. Like 3 times during the week, and a session at the weekend would really help you improve start of the week and the end of the week. We run the curriculum here at Gracie Barra tutoring, so you're picking up A techniques and then B techniques as well. So that as a straightforward plan, I think is necessary for you to do. If you're a white belt, you know, the beginner classes are ideal for you. If you're on the track to becoming a blue belt or a blue belt, then your session plan will be slightly different and shouldn't replicate what a white belt does. So it's all about then finding the sessions that best fit your needs and improving your jiu-jitsu, not the sessions that are just available to you at that moment. That's just turning up to a session because you pay for a membership rather than thinking about why you're doing jiu-jitsu in the first place. Do you agree?
Totally. I also think that this is like a general rule. And I think that depending on what your focus, if you want to compete, if you're just like focusing on something more specific, like recovering from an injury, then maybe you should organize yourself according to what's your objective.
Yep.
So if you are gonna compete, try to come more to open mats, not just open mats. You will have to train all the things that Professor Tom said, but it is important that you do have the certainty of going to a lot of open mats, because that's going to make a difference. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of sparring. So it really depends on what's the moment of your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, what your goals are. If your goal is to get your blue belt, and you've got your blue belt, but you're still attending white belt classes, then you now need to identify what your goals are, because you've already achieved.
Reassess. Yes. That's the word.
Thank you very much. But yeah, like we said before, do not tie your goals to belts. Do not do that. It's bigger than that. It should be bigger than that. But yeah, decide on what they need to be and choose your schedule of classes around that, making 2 a minimum, but 3 to 4 the ideal for your week. Excellent. Okay, next question. It's quite a good one because it applies to a whole range of our membership base. What keeps you training for years and not weeks? That's a very interesting one. Okay.
Oof.
Commitment, discipline, motivation. Okay, it's with the data we sort of suggest when we look through it. Long-term adherence is strongest when training supports anatomy. You choose goals, competence, you see progress, and relatedness. You feel part of the room. Yeah, so all those things, really. If you're doing something you enjoy and you're getting from that what you want to get from it, and it's achieving your goals that you've put together, then that'll keep you progressing in that endeavor.
I would have such a different answer.
That's fine. So you
completely
go for it.
not grounded like this, but that's just thinking about my own journey. So I just kept doing jiu-jitsu just because I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't have no goals, no nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would be practicing 4 times a week, and then I would be not showing up at the gym for months, you know. I would move to other countries, would get to this new country, would go to some of the practices and I don't want to do this at the moment. So I think I'm very volatile in my journey, and I'm not the best reference. And what really makes me coming back to jiu-jitsu,
but it's your journey,
was the passion, because it was a long time since it took a long time for me to make real friends in jiu-jitsu, that you can talk about all this stuff, not just jiu-jitsu. I don't know, I think that my journey is
it's your journey.
It's it can be a reference, but it doesn't represent the general case of people who actually practice
I think
jiu-jitsu.
that general information is that if you're getting from it what you want to get from it, and you're feeling good about it, then you'll keep doing it. Like you say, you felt good, you liked jiu-jitsu, you got from jiu-jitsu that feeling that you liked it, so you carried on doing jiu-jitsu. A lot of people will get other things from it, and they will keep training as a result of it. You'll come up against situations which will test that when you get injured or when life starts to happen to you, and it's then how you roll and push through that. So as long as you're building a great structure for yourself and you understand as you get older and you want to practice that you can't practice the same as you did when you were 20, when you're 30 or 40, so what other things do you need to do and when you're at that age in order to allow you to practice, and you get to a point where you realize you can't practice as you did when you were 20 or 30 regardless of what you do, because your body is
It's not
different.
gonna keep up.
It doesn't do it. Like today, I got up off the sofa and I nearly burst my Achilles. I can't do what I did when I was 20, 28 as a student. It just doesn't work. Yeah? These sorts of things happen, and your training needs to change as a result of that. But keeping yourself fit and well, having a balanced diet, getting the sleep you need, these all contribute to being able to keep on training well on into your later life. And as long as you keep doing that, you'll keep getting from jiu-jitsu those things that you want to get from jiu-jitsu. So yeah, be smart. Be smart with your training. Be smart with your lifting. Be smart
with your money, because
Be smart with your
jiu-jitsu
money.
kind of depends on money. Like,
Yeah, don't put it all on the Grand National and hope to be able to win loads of money. Not going to work. Yeah? Invest sensibly so that when you're older and you're not working, your investments pay for you to train jiu-jitsu.
yes,
That sort of stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And for the doctors, in case you get any kind of injury.
Exactly, but because you're fit and well and you've got that balanced diet and you sleep well, you won't need to see a doctor. So yeah, just be smart, train smart, build a smart routine.
Careful
Be
with the
sensible.
injuries, you
Careful
know,
with injuries.
like
Yeah.
always spar and always practice with a lot of care to prevent like very terrible injuries.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and also like listen to your body, you know, respect your limits, your boundaries.
Yeah,
Don't push
exactly.
yourself too much, because it's not worth it.
Not really.
Yeah, if it brings an injury that takes you away from the sport, that's not like
If you
a
love
good
it,
decision.
you enjoy jiu-jitsu, being away from something you love is very hard. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Next one. Now, we've just finished an episode where we've talked a lot about safeguarding. So this question is it okay to refuse a role from a higher belt? Let
That's
Professor
a
Gabby answers.
polemic question, guys. Yeah, scandal just got inside the room now.
Yeah,
Scandal.
scandal.
Yes. So
Okay.
the
Your
answer.
Yes. Yes, of course it is.
Yes.
Your
it's-
safety, your body, your choice.
Yes. Yes. But we have to put a but here. So it depends on also the culture of the gym. So there are some gyms that they have a more traditional culture, let's put that way,
Yes.
where they think they're like they have some strict rules about someone that is a white belt cannot invite a black belt to spar, you know, that's like disrespectful or rude or whatever. And they also have this other way around of like, if a black belt invites you to spar, you need to spar with him, with them, doesn't matter if you want or not, because if you don't, it's gonna be so rude and disrespectful and
Yep.
you know, like a very unpolite thing to do. So I think that things have been changing on the last years, and some of these rules are getting more flexible, because now they understand that like, man, not all black belts, they are in the great techniques, not all black belts are good people.
Yes.
And if they make someone uncomfortable, this person should be allowed to say no to them, you know, because we know that there are some abuse, you know, some bad stuff going on.
Yeah. Hold yourself with integrity and answer the question respectfully. Unless you've suffered previous incidents and injuries with this individual, then your safety is your priority. If you feel you're going to be unsafe with this individual in any way, don't roll with them. But if this individual is in the academy that shouldn't be in the academy, do something about that as well.
And try to be polite according to your answer.
Yeah.
And, you know, protect yourself. The first thing of all is the main thing. Like, it's very important that you feel safe and comfortable, because if you're not feeling safe or comfortable when you go with someone specific, there is a chance you're going to get injured, or there will be some sort of like misunderstanding or conflict, and things can escalate.
Yeah, and on the reverse of that question, from my point of view, it is okay to ask a higher level for a role if you're doing so with the intention of learning something from it.
Yeah, because we know that there are some people that they come with that thing, oh my gosh, look, this person is a brown belt, they came here to visit. I want to go with them to prove myself, to see how my technique is,
Exactly,
you know, because I don't have the chance to spar someone with a higher belt.
I want to do it over there in
every
close
day.
proximity to the black belt, so he can see me and see what I do to this visiting brown belt.
belt.
He'll think great of me, you know, that sort of stuff.
Nonsense.
Yeah, absolute nonsense.
Nonsense.
Yeah. Higher belts are there. They've been there. They've come from a reputable place. They have information that you would want. So be respectful and ask them if they would mind rolling with you, because you want to learn. That's why we're all here, is to learn.
Yeah.
Great answer. Great question. Definitely. Short answer is yes.
Next question then. How do black belts earn their stripes, degrees? All the students, the kids, they make that question.
Oh, that question.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
like
answers.
you don't have no stripes on your belt. Why?
The favourite answer I like giving is, well, they've been hidden. It's like a big treasure hunt. They've been hidden by the Jiu-Jitsu Supreme behind various different trees in various different locations, but I haven't yet had the time to find them all.
Well, so for the black belts, the stripes, they work differently. We also need to mention here that the stripes, they were not something...
They're not stripes anymore. They move on from being called stripes.
2 degrees for black belts,
yeah.
yes. But the point is, at like on the other belts, this thing of having stripes is something kind of relatively new on the story of the sports, because Jiu-Jitsu has been practicing, I don't know, since the 1920s.
Yep.
And then I guess that the stripes, they started appearing like 90 years later, 80 years later, the beginning of the 2000s, maybe 2010s.
Okay.
In my gym, I just have like, I guess, 2 stripes in my whole Jiu-Jitsu journey. When I was a purple belt, I think I was able to get 2 stripes. And then eventually I got like the brown belt.
Yeah.
So some gyms, they now have this thing of having stripes, and some gyms, they still don't use stripes, which is more unlikely now. In the past, it was more unlikely for people to actually have the stripes. Anyway, but thinking about the degrees of black belts. So on the colored belts, on the adults category, normally you get 1 stripe in every 6 months. In the adults category for black belts or masters, whatever, black belts, the first degree, the first stripe is gonna take you 3 years to achieve. So from the first to the 3rd degree, every degree is gonna be awarded after 3 years of practice.
Yep.
So for example, if you are a black belt that has 3 degrees on your belt, it means that you have 9 years practicing as a black belt.
Yep.
Kind of, at least, you know, for minimum. Then the 4th to the 6th degrees, it takes you 5 years each. Then the 7th degree, it takes 7 years to get, and that would make you like what we call a coral belt.
Red, black, coral. So,
Which is...
Draculino's just been awarded his red, black.
Red and black. So we have other belts than just the black belts, because that's also a question that the students do. Is there any other belts after the black belt? Yes, the coral belt, which is a black and red one. Then you also have the red, white coral. That takes you the 8th degree. To get your 8th degree, you need to be practicing 10 years. And to become a red belt in Jiu-Jitsu, which means that you have a 9th degree on it, it's another 10 years of practice. So the 10th degree is reserved just for founders and pioneers of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And that cumulatively, it means that you have 31 years.
Now, for founders and pioneers, but eventually
From
there should
the new.
be a lot of people who have just been in Jiu-Jitsu for a long time getting this. So it shouldn't be reserved just for people who were
the founders of the sport. Yeah.
We sit with Professor Tom, who's on his 2nd degree, 6 years as a black belt. When you think about the numbers after that, I may make my 7th degree if I stay alive. Yep.
For that long.
This is it.
Yeah.
So unlike when you're an adult or a kid and you're getting stripes regularly because your jiu-jitsu technique is this and it's evaluated by professors and stuff, it's ultimately, if you're living the life of jiu-jitsu as a black belt, and as long as you stay alive, then you'll
eventually get
being
that.
awarded your degrees.
I think that for us as instructors, it's important to have the degrees on your belt. But from the perspective of a practitioner, for me, it's just like, man, I already got the black belt. I don't need anything else, you know. I'm gonna keep practicing, and the stripes for me, they're just gonna be a formality.
Just happens.
Yes.
Just stay alive, Gabby. Stay alive.
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah. So to get all the way from that first degree to the seventh is sort of around about 31 to 32-ish years of being a black belt before then you go into your red coral. So yeah, that's why I sit here now. And as long as I practice what I preached earlier on, good sleep, good habits, good diet, I may very well get to that belt. But yeah.
And when are you gonna get your next stripe, the third one?
The third one, so it'll be another 3 years. 3 years.
No, but so when did you get the second one?
The second one, well, at the December 25, that'll be 16.
25.
So that was last year. Then 3 years from that, 28. So before the end of the decade, there'll be a third degree. It's just ridiculous, that amount of time, you know, that many years being a black belt. When you think about how long when you think about being as a purple belt, and you're thinking, it's just so long, and then you're a black belt, and already 6 years has gone.
It flies.
It flies.
Yeah.
But that's
I'm gonna
just
get my first degree
time.
supposedly this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Stay alive, Gabby. Stay alive.
I would have to go back to Brazil, I guess. Don't know.
Well, we'll see.
You'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So we move on then. Thank you very much for the question. The final question of this session is, we know from one of our youngest listeners, how many black belts are there in the world?
I don't know.
Oh, well, some of the data, even the data of this is sketchy. So the IBJJF has only certified, so you can't get all the information you need. They think it's a range between sort of 9,000 and 10,000, but unregistered, probably 30 to 60,000 worldwide. At one time, I think when I first started, the statistic was there were more people practicing judo in France than there were black belts in the world. Yeah, and that was in 2009. And I don't know where that statistic came from, but it blew my mind. And because somebody said it, I believed it at the time, so it's fact now. There was also that one that said you're more likely to walk past a serial killer than you were a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Really?
That was the one he used as well.
Wow.
I don't know whether these were sales techniques, because I ended up signing for jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu after that. But
then like that kind of crossovers, because when you come to jiu-jitsu, you see that there are some psychopaths in the training.
That's true. But that must be about right. If you think there's 30 to 60,000 people as a jiu-jitsu black belt, and there is, 6 billion people, there must really, statistically, be around about 30 to 60,000 serial killers.
I've read the book once that they said that like in a room of like 100 people, 2 of them might be a not serial killer, but like a psychopath, you know.
So at least one of them is a jiu-jitsu black belt. Let's just hope it's not the same person.
The same person.
So we were saying you probably can take the IBJJF information as 10, but there are a lot of others who probably aren't registered on that specific database because they've no need to, because they're not competitors, they are in a gym and they train and they teach, or they are just hobbyists that have just gone through the process. So it could be, like they've suggested, 3 times that number, so between sort of 30 to 50,000 people across the world as jiu-jitsu black belts. Probably another question that I have no answer or information for is, where is the biggest majority of black belts in the world?
Brazil.
It must be Brazil. Or is it the States?
There's no,
Brazil or the States?
Brazil.
Has to be Brazil.
Brazil has like jiu-jitsu has been like in Brazil for, I don't know, since 1920s.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Like it's a long time. It's basically like 100 years in Brazil. The previous year, I guess, it was 2025.
Yeah.
That the family Grace, they were celebrating like 100 years of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
You know, so there is no way you're gonna compare the amount of black belts you have in Brazil to the other countries. Even though it exists in the US, here in Europe for a long period, for the last maybe 30 years. If you think about like how long it takes to form a black belt, which is like 10 years, you still don't have enough time of the art outside of Brazil being able to form the same amount of black belts as Brazil has formed. So it's purely a matter of like numbers, I guess.
No, that's true. I would take that
Like
as well.
the time.
Yeah,
you know?
the time that needs to be expended to get it. There is some suggestion at around the turn of the 2000s when Brazil was exploding in the US that people would see the opportunity, a low-level white belts, blue belts, and they would suddenly turn up in the States as black belts and then teach. So they maybe bring that down a little bit, but surely there is that. Brazil has probably the most black belts, and that's probably why the IBJJF doesn't have records of them, because the IBJJF is not based in Brazil, it's based elsewhere.
Yeah, in Brazil, the other big confederation is called Confederação Brasileira de Jiu-Jitsu, CBJJ. I think that's the name, CBJJ.
Yep.
Brazilian Confederation of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
So that one is also going to give you like better numbers, because that one have connections and links to the regional confederations. So you can have like a local confederation where you have registered people and they kind of have some sort of dialogue. So some of these confederations, if you are subscribed to them locally, you also are registered with the national one. So they might give you another good estimative on how many black belts exist in Brazil.
That's true. There are probably a lot of different sources. Taking just the IBJJF as gospel is not ideal, if you'd like to know the full story of that. But yeah, probably the takeaway from that question is one of those is going to be a serial killer. Okay, thank you very much. And that should end the episode. So we've had 9 lovely questions from probably 9 or plus lovely listeners. If you do have a question you want us answered for our next one, possibly in 3 months' time, please feel free to drop us in a comment, drop us an email, drop us a WhatsApp or whatever you want to do. But it's been an absolute pleasure to answer these questions, and I hope we've given you the answers you need.
Exactly. So the next podcast, please don't ask where are the best black belts.
Yep.
Because I'm going to answer Brazil.
Yep.
You know that.
And I'm probably going to make some joke about it.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here today.
Exactly.
Can't wait for the next one, and keep sending us questions, comments, and we are here to support you as we can.
Exactly, yeah, and also get into the YouTube habit of subscribing and liking. We like
commenting, sharing with your friends, sending to your enemies.
Send to your grandma, send to your enemies, send to your boss.
Exactly.
That's why you don't go to work so much, because you train jiu-jitsu. Thank you very much, people. We'll speak to you very soon.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.